And with that, since we're talking about playoffs, Ruddy locks himself in playoffs. Which spot? We don't know until the end of the split. Somehow we're going to have tiebreakers. Don't worry about it. This is NLC Summer 2024. But also, somehow, Verdant had the beginning of the game. But then it was a ping-pong earthquake match that was complicated, right?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about this, Jerry, or do you want me to dive in? Because I've got a few things to say. I'll let you go first.
First of all, I want to say, once again, I was right. We need to play the gif of make sure they bring me my money. Because that's how I feel right now with my pickers. I'm winning. I'm doing it all. So realistically, I should just get all my predictions right today. That's how I'm feeling. Ruddy, they obviously take the win. Verdant, like I said a little bit earlier, I didn't think they were going to pull this one off. I didn't think they were going to beat Ruddy. And that obviously puts a stake in their chance to playoffs. Now they would need to win all three. And for Venom Press not to win at least two. So, yeah, what can I say? It's not looking good for Veterans prediction earlier either.
No, I'm gonna deep dive a little bit into this game now.
Okay, do it.
I have some concerns here. I think Ruddy played early game pretty tragic there. In fact, I don't really know what happened because I went to go get a drink, and when I came back, they were down 3 kills. The map seemed to be a little bit on fire. I literally looked away for 2 minutes, and when I looked back, another 3 kills had gone up, and it just felt like Ruddy were making quite a few fumbles in the beginning of the game, and honestly, shout out to Ruddy for their ability to pull that back, because they were definitely down at the start of that game, but Verdant just did nothing. They did nothing with the lead they got. It felt like they were making plays, and their game plan was to shut Alex down, and I know he didn't get MVP this game, but I genuinely do believe he was the reason Ruddy won this game. He absorbed so much pressure, multiple 3-man fights versus him. He'd do so much damage and so much work in those 1v3s that Verdant would then be forced to reset maybe 1 or 2 members. It would slow down their tempo, whatever they were going to do. And while Alex was eating the pressure of 3 members, his other 4 players were able to out-pressure the remaining 2 members of Verdant around the map. And I think it was honestly, they were putting too much attention on dealing with a Yone who wasn't really doing much other than eating pressure. So yeah, I got some concerns there for Verdant. I do think, you know, we were talking about this before the game started, but this was like a really needed win here for Verdant, and I think that spells a little bit of a bad omen for them going forwards.
Yeah, and I want to bring back one point that you mentioned before we even went into game as well. It's something you brought up on cast last week too. Ruddy, again, still haven't shown that clean macro. I will say there's still a lot of work they need to do before they get ready for that playoffs. I still think, again, a lot of their gameplay was quite scrappy. It was quite open team fights where people were picking off 1v1s and 2v2s rather than straight up 5v5s. So I will say I don't think they're exactly playoff ready just yet. And as Veteran did say earlier, I do think the aim now, especially for them locking, should be getting that mindset of being playoffs ready where you're clean enough so that if you do kind of get adapted against, you're ready to go, and you're ready to go all the way to take yourself to the winner of the playoffs, because at the end of the day, that's what really matters.
You know what? I'm gonna add on your addition. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna up 1 level. Every single time we look into NLC, the people like the team that goes to EMEA Masters looks clean. Like they destroy the entire league. And then we get there and we all know what happens. We get demolished. So maybe if we bring a team who's not clean at all, completely crazy, we're gonna win. So you know what? You go already.
I've been around for a long time at this point.
Not happening.
I've seen what happens when that team shows up. It's even worse. It's even worse every time.
Gosh!
I would love to have some faith. I really would love to see some faith. And the thing for me is, like, we saw a bit of that macro from Ruddy last week. A little bit. There was a taster. I know that it's there. I just want to see that they can prove that they can do it before we get to EMEA, because let's be real, I'd be very surprised if they don't qualify for it. That is a big prediction this early on because we're not even in playoffs yet, but I would be very surprised if Ruddy don't qualify by the end of playoffs. I'd truly be shocked if that was the case. But I want to see some macro from them before we get there, because they're going to be going up versus teams who are, frankly, a lot better than the rest of this league. They're going to be going up versus, you know, LFL versus second seeds. That's just 4 seeds now, right?
Yes,
so there is a wide
waiting.
pool of teams they're going to be playing versus.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got some major regions playing there. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare, but I want to see them do well. So for them to do well, they need to prove to us that they can play a macro game, because you're not going to out-hands check first seed of LFL. That's just straight up not going to happen.
But for now, they're qualifying for playoffs for NLC, and also talking about being the league, being the best. Let's show the best of the game itself. Who was the MVP for Ruddy? None other than Nata. He did it before, he does it again with 35% damage and a 10-1-9 KDI. Just letting you know, he's off by 1 kill. Previous game he had 11, he has 10. He's going downhill, man. Nobody can stop. I'm kidding. Ruddy gets that victory. And you were talking about predictions, okay, J-Real? You know what? We didn't show at the beginning of the show. Might as well show it right now. Let's see where the guest is. We have to. We have to do it, right? So, oh, look at this beautiful moment. It's Hashiram, the guest, and Middlecott believing in Blue Whites. Then it's an all-in for Ruddy. Why are you mad, Hiprain? You got 5 points already.
I can +2 today. I guess.
It's something.
It's something. A slight crawl forwards. Man, I had the Pantheon and everything, and it all went wrong. But Ruddy, yeah. I mean, I had 5 points in them this game. Last game. I was very confident in them. The Vayne had me a little nervous, I'm going to be honest. But like we said after Champ Select, while the nameplates were off, we were very much in Verdant's camp. But with nameplates on, we were very comfortable with Verdant. And I mean, we were saying, you know, it didn't look like she had actually really lost all that bad to the Vayne. And then the game ended, and I realized they had 1 kill participation. They were 0-3-1 on the Darius. So they obviously achieved absolutely nothing. So I guess I was wrong, and I was eating my words a little bit on that one. But yeah. +2 at the end of the day, I promise.
You know what I find exquisite about this is the fact that everybody went for DMG aside from Initialize. A DMG win locks them playoffs as well. Keep that in mind. I know everybody is looking at DMG, but only one individual win for Venom Crest. And this is interesting. The last time they met, Venom Crest won. Fierce was the MVP with the 7-0-1. Yep. All lanes collapsed. DMG didn't even play the game. And now everybody believes DMG is going to make it. So, looking at you folks, Hiprain and J-Real, why do you believe DMG is going to take this so wholeheartedly? J-Real, let's start with you so you don't copy.
I think that there's just levels where... Oh, wrong match of the day. But either way, I'll go back to the question that you asked me. It's a sentiment where, like, I think realistically, we've had a lot of time in the league, right? So we're kind of moving forward. I feel like DMG have been able to kind of scale themselves up. Like Venom Crest, I do think looked really strong, and I think they are definitely a dangerous opponent. But there is just something about DMG for me that has just kind of been scaling more and more. But also, the most important reason is, as I said, I'm the Div 2 guy. DMG has Div 2 players. You know, shout out to Bucci, shout out to Namex. I've got to back the boys, so we've always got to get that one. You know, I'm not gonna be flippant about my choices. If it's Div 2, I'm gonna support you.
Wow.
I have mad respect for someone who could just be like, I'm going for the teams from the division below. If that's how you base your votes off, I got mad respect for that.
That's what I put on my side.
The reason I think DMG are gonna win this is DMG have just been arguably, I would say, easily the 3rd best team in the league. I think Nord are ever so slightly better than them, but like, honestly, we're talking fractions better. I think it's very, very close between them and Nord in power. I think DMG have just been consistently very, very good this split. And yes, they did lose to Venom Crest before, but I don't think that mistake is going to happen again. And I think DMG, while they've looked good all split, I also have seen improvement across that. And it's sometimes hard to track that when you just keep winning to see, oh, they actually are getting better, but they are getting better. And the biggest thing for me for why I voted DMG is Bucci. It's just Bucci's absolutely cracked.
I know we talked about landing multiple times at the beginning of the split, but by now I think the Bucci fan base has reached his peak. And if he gets his hand on Renekton or Xante or individuals like that, I think Bucci might carry this game alone. Like we hit that state. I'm
surprised that we haven't seen any Xante today. It got banned in the last game and just straight up didn't get picked in the first game. This game, I think if you're Venom Crest right now, you're like, this Xante cannot get through, or we're taking it. But then I feel like Bucci probably has an answer to this champ that he plays so well. In fact, I think we've seen an answer from him multiple times. There are things available that can go toe-to-toe with a Xante. But yeah, I think if you're Venom Crest right now, you're probably just looking to ban it out and just not even have to sweat or think about this pick, because Bucci is too good on the Cassante. Cassante is, I mean, we all know Cassante is a pretty uninteractive champion, ridiculously over designed kit. And Bucci is a master of that over designed kit. So yeah, that's my prediction going in picks and bans. I think there's a lot of the standard stuff like the Triss, the Corki that are going to be high priority. But for me, going into this, the Cassante is the highest priority pick for this entire game.
He played the Gragas. He likes to answer the Cassante with the Gragas, and he's quite powerful at that. He likes to joke around people with a Dummy Cinder and just burn them alive. The last time they met, though, it was not Bucci playing, so that's the reason why DMG probably got beat up. They brought in someone else at the top line. We talked about that week. That was an interesting week for DMG, and if they lock this one in, they get playoffs. If you make playoffs, you make EMEA Masters because there's 4 slots. Yeah, NLC has 4 slots. Talk about that, Hip Brain.
Yeah, I was like, I was quite bold for me to say that Ruddy are going to get a spot, but like, let's be real, like getting a spot, of course they are. That's like,
I was just giving you time just to make it awkward.
There's 4 spots, even though I'm pretty sure I mentioned there was 4 spots at the beginning of this whole thing, this whole segment.
You started that discussion and you said that, well, we have 4 slots now, so and then you're like, I mean, maybe they can make EMEA Masters because they're on playoffs. We got 4 teams on playoffs.
You've worked with me long enough, Archer, to know that I'm a complete space cadet. Like, things fall out of my mind real quick.
Hey, same here. I'm Portuguese. So,
what does that have to do with anything? Is that a Portuguese trait?
Right, I'm taking the mic, guys. I'm taking the mic. I'm bringing it back. Okay, I'm going to say my piece. I'm saying this about DMG, right? Yeah. We talked about Bucci, right? I also think the other part of why I think they're such a good team is because they really do kind of just have all of their members able to carry, right? I think Bitse does a really good job of being able to kind of pick between playing around other people, and I feel like all of their moving parts can at some point be successful. But what I will say is the reason why I do think Venom Crest is so scary and why I said that I do believe they will actually make it through to playoffs as well earlier is because for me, and I do hope that everyone here has played FIFA or at least understands Ultimate Team terminology, but I feel like Venom Crest to me are an 84 rated team with 100% chemistry, right? I don't think it's about the star potential for this team, right? I think they're all just equally good. They're not like necessarily the greatest players. They're not the Ronaldos of these teams, right? But what they do is they play very, very well together, and I think they harmonize super well, which is what we saw against Ruddy when they were taking them on in those 5v5 team fights, and they were starting to tip that balance, and they almost won that game.
I understood everything you said, and I like it. I know Hip Brain understood nothing of it, but I understood everything, by the way, Jibril. That was a really good analysis. It makes sense, sense. Like, Fierce is another person that we need to keep our eyes on. Sketrot is an amazing individual, but obviously Fierce, if he's capable of pulling his Echo yet again, we only saw that once, and it was devastating. And by the way, it was versus the DMG. So when we look into the champion select and the picks and bans, is there anything we need to highlight from both these teams we should keep our eyes on? And for those of you back at home saying, Caster, start the game, this is not our fault, by the way. I just want to let you know, if you want to blame anyone, blame Duckling.
It is Duckling. Duckling's actually the one starting the lobby. I don't know what he's doing.
I sent him multiple DMs, and yeah, I'm just waiting.
Yeah, classic.
It says technical pause. It says technical pause down at the bottom, but it's actually Duckling's. Yeah. Duckling's gone away.
And he's not a technical individual.
He went to try and find a meal deal in Denmark. You know, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. I don't know if he's found one soon. You know, maybe he'll be back soon. Maybe later. You never know.
Also, if there's any concerns back at home, we love Duckling. Duckling is safe within us. Like, if you have anything to say in concern of his safety, Duckling, say anything. See, he's okay with us. So,
he's fine.
When we look into the champion select, is there anything we should keep our eyes on aside from the Echo?
I'm looking at mid lane at the moment, right? Not because I have a particular pick in mind, but I just want to see something different. You know, get rid of the Corki, man. Get rid of the Tristana.
Yeah.
I want to see, I want to see something different, man. Like, we've got picks like Jace has been played, LeBlanc's been played, Echo's been played. You know, we have the Hui potentially being played, right? Like, come on, let's get some freshness. You know, open up the windows of your champion pool and let some new stuff in.
Are you not happy with the AD mids?
I hate these AD mids. I'm a LeBlanc main. I absolutely love it. Tristana versus LeBlanc is not a fun matchup for the LeBlanc. The Corki is a little bit more playable, but even so, that's pretty miserable. So you'd have to have both of those champs out of the pool to really pick it up. And then also you got to think about What are you playing into? What's it actually going to offer? Finally, we're into Champ Select, so we can stop filling.
Thank you,
As much
Duckling.
as I want to see a LeBlanc mid, I do think there's going to be emphasis on this Corki, this Tristana. These are the pretty standard stuff. If one of them is banned out, like you said, J-Ron, in the last Champ Select, things like the Lucian are still technically there and available as answers to those picks. But so far, it's the Senna, it's the Ivern, the Rumble getting banned away. Rumble, obviously, very, very high priority at the moment, especially paired up with that Rel. Where you have the Equalizer Magnet Storm combination available to you. There's the Jace ban though, and so far a lot of the big champs have been left open. Now Venom Crest may leave the Cassante open at first picket for Lenny if they want, and to deny from Bucci.
And I want to say something quickly, a little bit off the W draft before we see the finalized bans. Artron, you'll like this a lot, actually. Shout out to Tibby and Omega because they told me this. But apparently, in Portuguese, when you're filling time, you're actually stuffing the chorizo. That's apparently the saying.
Yes, it is.
It
is a saying.
Yeah,
Encher o chouriço. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, bringing a bit of Portuguese to the desk. Yeah, shout out. We're pretty good at that apparently on our desk. But either way, back onto the draft, back onto the bans. Carthus and Brand gone. I'm not sad about it. I like a little bit of flavor, but and again with the Corki picks first.
You get both. Bring in a Tristana.
This is probably just going to be... okay, so Skate-Ross got the Yone instead of the Trist up. The Sejuani's picked up here now. I like this Sedge pick because it's flexible. It also synergizes very well with Skate Rot if it does go in the jungle. You probably look at some kind of melee top laner as well, and suddenly Bitsy can play all over the map. But if they don't have a favorable top lane matchup available to them, they can put the Sedge up there and pick themselves an AP jungler. Obviously, the Brand and the Carthus taken away means Lilia shoots up a little bit more. So does this Maokai getting picked up here for Fear Castus. I don't expect to see that flex about anybody else. And I'm curious whether or not Venom Crest go for a support here, or they just look to try and blind a comfortable top and hope that this is something like a Cassante is available to them and they can just deny that from Bucci.
Ooh, so we already have the window closed. You already know where both are going. But with the Sejuani, you were talking about that. This is so interesting because if you bring another melee into the top lane, you can get that Sejuani proc if she goes to the jungle or even the support. We've seen it before. And Skaterot so far 100% with AD champions in mid lane. Win rate. Just letting you know. Final pick before we head on to the second rotation of bans.
Cassante is not banned.
Yep,
Cassante
it's another
not banned
melee.
at all.
It's
You
melee,
could pick it up here. You could pick up an ADC. No,
Yep.
there it is. Cassante. No surprises. We said we were going to see Cassante in this game. Bucci is, I would say, the best Cassante in the league. So understandable that they picked that one up and now looking to pick up things that will be able to go toe-to-toe with it. You said there's this Gragas, which Bucci actually plays in answer to it. The Camille's a pretty decent lane as well. There's Gwen. There's a few things up and available that they could look to take away. My major concern right now, though, for DMG is they are very AD heavy. They don't actually have an AP champion here. The Kai'Sa being picked up by Venom Crest also denies the ability for like kind of a flex AP bot lane for them. So I'd be interested to see what they're going to pick up going into the next stage, into this where they're looking for their bot lane entirely here.
They could go for the Gwen, for instance, into the top side. It has been popping in terms of popularity in other leagues. We've seen it before.
Now.
And it's gone. So it's doomed. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, there are other answers. The Zac is another champion that Lenny plays and he's comfortable with it. And I know of someone who likes the Zac, so if it gets picked, J-Real, it's yours.
Yeah, I am a jungle main with it, but Zac Top is also a banger. It's a great champion. It's really fun to play. Not so fun to be played against you, but you know what? Cry tears. There's a lot of champions people don't like playing against. So either way, I hope it does get picked up. But what I am interested about is how DMG round the comp off, because part of me is like, maybe you just go full team fight, right? Maybe you go Samira and then like another engaged support. But I think Misfortune maybe the easier, more simple pick.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking towards Venom Crest here. Things like the Nautilus is probably a pretty comfortable go-to. Paired it up with the Kai'Sa. Now looking towards the top side. Is Navex? No, okay, he's not a psycho.
I wish.
He's looking into Lucian here for himself. And yeah, I feel like Nautilus for Venom Crest is probably going to be the a pretty comfortable pickup. Leona is also up and available as well, so we could just see a trade of that. Still very lacking in AP on the side of DMG. So top side, things like the Malphite, probably going to be a pretty comfortable pickup here for their top lane. there's going to be the Nautilus lock, and they are thinking about the Rel. Actually love the
Makes
Poppy.
sense.
That could go support, that could go top. We'll find out momentarily, but there is a lot of movement, a lot
Four
of dashes available on DMG, and that steadfast presence is just going to shut the whole team down. Really, really big pickup there from Venom Crest.
Everybody has a dash. Everybody is denied in a team fight if that is well used. So high value, but you have to finish it. And if you steal away the Nautilus, that is going to be even more interesting.
Okay, I like it. Also, percent HP on the Q as well for Poppy, so should be able to fight out the Cassante. Also, a deceptively high amount of damage in the early game, so maybe if Bucci isn't careful, could get caught out a little bit. But I am wondering what DMG want to round it off with. Obviously, Melio, a very common one. The Nami as well could definitely go with the Lucian. I'm surprised they've gone to send it so hard on the bot lane, but you know what? I'm here for it. Like, I really like this. I think Namix is a really, really good player. So I think realistically, putting a lot of eggs in that basket could set them up very well. And if you shut down Lindegaard on this Kai'Sa, it would be massive for DMG.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, let me know if you still believe in predictions. Everybody was going for DMG as stuff from Initialize, and a lot of points were put in on predictions. So, hey Brian, are you still comfortable with DMG, or do you believe Venom Crest can make it?
I think the Melio is the difference maker. I think if they picked Leona or some kind of engaged support, I would have been a little bit worried. But having that shielder, having that healer, the person who's going to give the extra range to Namex, I think that was the difference maker here. And I'm feeling comfortable just off that pick. I think it rounds out the team very nicely. I don't think Venom Crest have a bad team, though. I think Venom Crest actually have a very, very solid team. That Poppy, unbelievably high value champion for them. It makes them that and the Nautilus just make this like big AoE zone of control, which you just can't step into because you're walking into Steadfast Presence or you're walking into the hook range of the Nautilus. I think Venom Crest have a very good team, and I think this is a very solid draft from them, but I'm still confident in DMG. They're a very capable team.
J-Real.
Yeah, I'm still pretty confident with my prediction, right? I put 3 points on DMG. I still feel like it's very much in my hands. I will say that Poppy is definitely the one on my mind because the way I'm looking at the draft, the way I'm looking at the picks, I'm expecting a lot of pressure in the bot side of the map for DMG, right? Really just playing for that Lucian, get them ahead early, and also playing around that mid lane. So if you get Yone ahead, well, ADCs, we saw it in the last game, they're going to get fried. But you then leave Bucci on an island, and teams have decided to play for Bucci and really try and put him behind. And obviously, Cassante, so dangerous, but if they do fall too far behind, maybe there's a bit of a pivotal exchange that can't be dealt with. And then if in the late game, Poppy could obviously mess up things like the Lucian. So I do think there is definitely a lot of potential for that top lane to really make a big statement here for Lenny to kind of bring back those glory moments from the old days. But at the end of the day, I think I'm still confident with DMG. I think they got a lot of comfort and they got a good setup.
The Cast are looking for Division 2. Getting that props up. Hey, Brian, you talked about Division 3, but you know what? I'm going to support the unknown individuals that are not part of any division. Duckling, and also Veteran, the man with a plan. Take it away.
Welcome over to the cast. There's the man with the plan, by the way. What's your plan now, Veteran?
My plan now is to sit, wait, and watch because I forgot what the juggle the DMG locked in was. Which if it wasn't an insane one, I think they have like pretty bad damage going into Poppy, now by and Nautilus tanks. But at the same time, Venom Crest, they don't have that much range, right, with going 40 plus ISO. But they have so much lockdown, so much concentrated lockdown for the otherwise fairly high mobility champions of Yone and Lucian. I honestly feel like this is Venom Crest break. Both sides have their disadvantages, and both sides have their advantages, so I'm struggling to see what that advantage actually is inside the MD. I guess the fact that they are one win up, they are technically the better team going into it. There you go, let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens as we get into the game. Game number 3 of the day here, ladies and gentlemen. A very important one for both of these teams. Not will qualify for playoffs, or not, what am I saying? DMG, rather, sorry, will qualify for playoffs if they win this game. Venom Crest, though, a tough opponent who are also fighting for a playoff spot themselves, while Verdant and Natives, or Natives completely out of playoff space. I do believe Verdant are out of it as well, to be maybe not mathematically, but their chances are now near to none. Lion Lundqvist Lightsider, however, just behind Venom Crest at a score of 5-5. So Venom Crest want to get that 7th win on the board and also keep their chase up for top 2. As remember, top 2 is into the upper bracket of the playoffs.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was the Sejuani. It is the Sejuani. So yeah, I do think you have a fairly big risk on DMG. I think Venom Crest, they're able to control them at all points. They're able to get damage back afterwards. So as long as Lingard and Fierce just play not passive, but just they don't need to take unnecessary risks. I feel like they just naturally win out on this game, short of Namex just putting on absolute clinic, right? When it comes to the 2v2 1v1 stage, a lot of things can happen. And maybe they just stomp so hard they get to play away from a lot of the heavy crowd control they'd be otherwise playing into on Venom Crest. Maybe you can split them up and have a lead. You can get advantages that way as the side of DMG.
DMG.
Thoughts, how are you?
I'm looking at the bottom at the moment, seeing Simpy take a few auto attacks. I'm a bit nervous, to be honest. I've messed up one of my predictions today. Hopefully
We all
catch up
have.
on the other predictions, unless you're Ashram and Hip Brain. I think not Hip Brain.
J-Real.
J-Real, yeah, smurfing
Yeah, the
so far
guest.
on the desk. As yeah, it's a big game, right? It's in the down moments at the moment. Of course, we're just heading on to the rift here. I'm analyzing to the best of my limited ability. Luckily, I have you beside me, veteran. Why are you not coaching anymore, by the way? Because you've coached the NLC team.
Yeah, this is wow. There's like no simple answer to that question. Actually, there's a simple answer to that question. I just haven't been given the level of roster control that I would like. That's basically it. Most of that is in the hands of managers now, who oddly enough you are interviewing with. So you are saying I want to do a major part of your job. Yeah, that doesn't typically leverage yourself into a position well.
So what I'm hearing you say that if you were a head coach, you'd also do the manager's job. So you 2-for-1 combo deal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So if I got to interview the owner, I feel like I would be cleanly in.
Yeah, and let that be known to the world then. Bring veteran back to the LEC and let him cook.
Yeah, let me cook.
Yeah, maybe we could get Dart out of Fnatic and maybe you'll help us win some trophies finally.
What is this conversation, by the way?
Nah, I'm just saying. I mean, I've seen the Dado haters in the Fnatic forums all the time. He's not a main with a plan, that is for sure. As Pizza has a plan of getting the Scuttle, the Smite is available, won't be able to secure it. I think that went over to Theocax, and now Pizza in trouble as well. First blood secured by the jungler of Venom Crest. That's a very good start to improve those playoff chances even further.
Yep, speaking of being as forward as you are being right now, one man decided to join you with that. Bitse, knowing that he did not have the lane priority on bot side.
2-for-2 here, 2v2 here though. Lingard already used the barrier. Barrier still available from Namex. Flash available as well. They could find a 2v2 kill here, and they do. Is there another one up on the menu? No. Flash or sums. Namex though still has the barrier. Namex still has barrier. When will he use it? Next auto attack, it has to come through. He auto attacks minions twice, but it still gets the kill. Top lane though. Solo bolo for Lenny.
Okay, so it is collapsing in a solo lane, like singular lane v lane sense. But it's going quite even on both sides. I would much prefer to be Namex with that gold lead rather than Popster with the gold lead, though. Namex managing to nab the straight 2v2 kill and put the wave in an extremely strong state for him. However, Kai'Sa able to get that recall. Simpy on the Nautilus able to get that recall ahead of their opponents. If they're able to fight them now, they should be able to either get the wave fix or just straight get the kill. So you can see Milio's the only one that's being left in lane here to try to maintain that freeze while Namex comes back in. Hopefully before the wave straight crashes. Not quite sure what the wave is looking like on bot side right now. All I am being told is that Stillseas is the king. They have won more than 100 awards. They use my favorite color, which is orange.
You
know
love
my favorite color
orange?
is orange. Yeah, orange.
I didn't know that actually. That's a fun fact. My color is favorite color is certainly not orange. Although it is a nice color though. I will say
love
way
green
better
as
than
well.
yellow. I'm not a big fan of the color yellow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what it is about yellow, but like with favorite colors, like a feeling. You know, I don't know. Like yellow feels off. You know, I don't know why.
That's a good point.
Orange though, love it.
This Drake now off the rift, as that's the first Drake for Venom Crest. As Bucci's back in lane of being solo boloed by Lenny. More points on my fantasy team. I want to get back to the bot lane conversation though. Very interesting to see what he has been able to buy in Nemix. A BF sword already secured and another large sword there as well. A lot of damage, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yep. A lot of damage indeed. I still much prefer to be DMG given the opening salvos of the game. 700 gold on towards that Lucian, on that BF, on that longsword. A lot of immediate onboard burst, which is why you see this attempt coming in hard and fast.
I think Nemix is simply just dead here. Very good gank from Theo Cactus. The ultimate is still available, doesn't need to use it. Lingard gets gifted the killer's one in the mid lane though. Fierce is in trouble, has the flash and smartly finds a way out of trouble. It's 2 good plays for Venomcrest in a row.
There you're seeing the control problem with that Maokai, with that Nautilus, going to get much harder once Nautilus hits 6 as well and is able to press R. And Kai'Sa on her 6 going to be able to rely on that setup to then engage from much further
underneath
away.
the turret.
Snappy.
Oh, the turret is dealing a lot of damage now. Simply 2 shots nearly killing him, but Lingard finds his second kill of the game as the game now paused. This is not my fault, by the way, guys. Blame it on Asheram.
Oh, okay.
Probably took a crap on the servers, to be honest, or something. I don't know, because Pantheon didn't win the first game.
Probably, yes. I mean, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense, to be honest, when you put it like
What else do you think the Endless Dusk is doing right now when they're not on the show, man?
I don't know, man. I really don't know what they're doing. I really don't know. I know that, I mean, did they, it sounded like they were leaning more in favor of DMG's composition when all of the utility and... Yeah, I mean, all of the utility and damage, I feel like, is on the left side of the draft, especially now. Like, it's just so difficult to get out those autos if you have this many point and clicks dealing with you as a Lucian, right? That cleanse from Millie only goes so far. It doesn't really count at all towards knockups, and most of that stuff coming out is knockups. That's why you don't see the cleanse on my boy. Otherwise, like, if it could be useful this game, I feel like he would have taken it. So, leaving that Nautilus open, especially the Maokai already being locked in, very dangerous scenario DMG put themselves in here.
Why is the overlay saying duckling delay? I'm not the one delaying this. I'm not the one delaying this.
I love that the producers are in on the joke. What did you do to Archon? Like, why does Archon have this vendetta against you? No big.
I guess it's because I don't know. I don't even talk bad about. I don't even say bad things about Portugal. I do say a lot of bad words about England though. So maybe that's why the English folks aren't too pleased. But Portugal. Mr. Portugal.
We just like Archon.
Yeah. It's a fine country. I've been to Portugal. It's nice. I've been to the UK as well. London's a bit of a shithole. Leicester's good though. Banging city. No. I'm saying this with a straight face, by the way. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean anyone who doesn't like London just outs themselves as being extremely boring. So
boring.
Yeah.
What do you know about being boring, actually?
Precious little, mate. I live in London.
Bucci, by the way, he's really struggling up with the top lane matchup. Lenny is heavily winning this as. Now they're gonna go for another move. The ultimate is missing, no fate sealed, and maybe that's the reason why Fierce just easily walks it off. Game kind of flipped on its head. Now go on.
Popster is slamming Bucci on top here. My man's is not really getting the chance to beat, especially with how much commotion's happening on bot side. Right?
Santa looks woeful at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Bitsy's spending most of the game on that bot side of the map there, and this is giving Lenny so much freedom to just slam as much as he can on Bucci. And Bucci, he just has to take it. He can't trade back in kills. Getting this proxy situation is as good as he's going to get. And Popster, honestly, probably feeling good about the possibility of just slamming him with that R to get out, and also to deny Cassante as much gold as possible under the tower. We'll see if he actually does go for that, as once again, Bitsy does something on the bot side. It's like, Bucci, you're on your own, buddy. Alright, just keep being completely useless. Lenny, you know, he needs a bit of emotional support up there. Just let him have it on you. You're his emotional support doll. He's being run around like one, as Bitsy trying to find something on Simpy and Lingard, but not going to be able to find anything. So long as Lingard, so long as Fierce, they just play back. They play a bit safe, right? They don't really need to care about too much stuff. It does look like the R went down from Lenny. I think Bucci got denied some more from that. My God, man! I think he can go for the kill here.
Yeah, Oh, the E though, that's very nice. And Bucci to get out of harm's way for now. Level 9 needs to come soon for him. If he is to make it out to safety, he's just gonna walk instead and stop it right there. Good bit of trade here from Namex, but now he oversteps his welcome, and it instantly gets turned on its head. Lingard chasing after the kills. That glacial prison goes oh so wide. Pizza, what are you cooking?
Goes into an even state, but Lingard's going to be able to fix bot wave there. Namex sees the autos coming down, thinks he might be able to greed for some more. Popster denying Bucci even more on top side, looking to nab that recall, looking to just walk in on top now. Mid lane being relatively calm, given that we essentially have an assassin versus a fighter, no assassinations, and not really that much fighting.
That's true. Not much fighting, that's a fair point. As that is a play for DMG. That's Bucci. Now gets some free time off in the top lane as well, but look at the solo difference that Lenny has just made so far. 800 gold ahead, even with the plate helping out a bit. Trying to put Bucci back into relevancy this game. Obviously, K'Sante is K'Sante, and should become relevant enough at some point, but yeah, I mean, Venom just feel like they have just control of the game at the moment, even with this goalie not being that big.
Yeah, I mean, I think this kind of a goal lead at 10 minutes is actually fairly big, to be honest. I'll be over 1.5k gold lead at 10 minutes is kind of insane.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Where the gold is though does matter for that. It's on Poppy, it's on Maokai. Popster doesn't really need a gold lead to be able to be useful. She's useful by virtue of being into this many dashes on her opponents. Simpy Venom Crest, they exist, yep, but Simpy has R still. Bear that in mind. He's an R delivery bot. Actually, no, it doesn't have R. I'm chatting.
These straight lines, man. Not quite connecting for now, as the Drake will be stopped. The first one had already gone over to Venom's favor. Now DMG restarted. It's only
R up in
half
a sec.
HP. What is happening? I think this is something that Venom is very happy with. They might just get it here. Yeah.
4, 3,
okay, so they get the
2,
Drake.
1.
No TPs from any of the top laners. Here comes Lenny though. Namex dealing a bit of damage as down goes Skate Rod. This fight is looking horrible. DMG have exactly overstayed. Venom just rather finding what they want as Pizza. Lucky to be alive. Since Venom just to get a kill and a Drake.
Yep, grabbing kill, grabbing Drake. The moment that R came up on Simpy, just slammed it on Namex, interrupted Namex kind of in the middle of the R. Let's be real, he got most of the channel off, but does do a good job controlling him regardless. And you're seeing how difficult this Venom Crest composition can be to break, especially with Lingard's on full HP. No flashes burned except for Lenny on the side of Venom Crest, whereas full flashes down on the side of DMG with the sole exception of Skaterot, who died.
What do DMG do now? Because it feels like the Venom Crest have this game in their pocket already, to be honest. Like, they feel in control, and by a mile.
I mean, it's difficult. You'd want to play away from the CC, but what lane are you going to play into it? You're not against Poppy, you're not against Maokai, and you're not against Nautilus. It's difficult. Catch Fierce out in solo, maybe catch Simply and Fearcax out when they don't have their damage near them. That could also be a possibility. These are the things they want to do, but it's not like they have the ability to take fast fights. The lack of burst on DMG is very loud in its silence. Skater and Namex, they're not known for their assassination potential, they're known for their potential over a longer series of trades, a longer series of fights. So, precious few options. It does feel like a back to the drawing board scenario for DMG in terms of a red side draft. They could maybe do something on the map on bot side here, but for Poppy, who has an ultimate coming up soon, it looks fairly easy on the next set of waves in terms of her options for delaying the turret taking on the bot side. Bitzer moving in, Lenny fully aware of it. We could see a potential for an outplay here. You need to kill him on this wave because he has ultimate up really soon.
What will Lenny do to escape the situation? We're focusing on the top and instead, I guess, is Bucci's finding himself in a very similar situation. You could interrupt a bit of the CC, but there's simply too much of it.
Wow.
Wow. Damn, Venom Crest, man. How do you play against this composition? Very nice execute dive.
They're now going to be ahead on that topside tower for sure, especially because Lenny, he has ultimate up again now, so worst case scenario, if he just wants to delay, he can just slam that wave away, but he's thinking, no, we already have tempo, I can save this, I can move back, I can play and chill. The fact that he had that 1k gold lead doesn't necessarily matter because of stuff like this. All Lenny really needs to do is he just needs to defend this bot tower, and once he has ultimate there, it's very easy to force him to take the full aggro of the tower on their dive attempts. Lenny, fully happy to be weak siding here, but is any side really weak for Venom Crest at this point?
No.
Sure, maybe there isn't that much damage on every side, but trying to attack something like Lenny while playing with this many dashes as DMG, does it really feel feasible? I really don't think it does.
This game feels unplayable for DMG, to be honest, man. Holy
it does.
moly. Venom Crest are cooking them up. It's insane because the goal lead, yes, it is pretty big for 50 minutes in, as you say, but this feels almost insurmountable. It's so hard to see DMG getting anything, even when they try to, as Venom Crest cleanly get the dive, get the turret that they came for, man. They're on cloud 9 at the moment.
Really? Wow, that's a pretty dramatic shift for that org.
Come on. Oh, I just knew you'd make a pun of it, but yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I always knew you were a simpy for the big orgs.
God, you're a horrible man. You
They can always rely on your fierce support.
Yeah, can we get this guy off broadcast, please? Give me someone else. Get hit printed even, that'd be better. Imagine
My
me and him
presence
having
here-
an
my
analytical discussion, by the way. That wouldn't work out well. I'm saying that because I'm saying that for the both of us.
Okay, you deserve whatever Hitbrain says to you on the
What do you
on the
mean,
death
man?
deck. I'm sorry, that was toxic. That was.
I'm flaming us both equally.
You don't get to kamikaze and say that it's not an aggressive act. Right? That's not how
That's
it works.
crazy. You had to put a kamikaze in there. As the Rift continues to be the Rift. Yeah.
The Rift does continue to be the Rift. It's just that, like, DMG, they're unlikely to start Giga accelerating unless they think they have a good catch. I assume this will turn to a staring contest unless Venom Crest decide they have the angle. Because they have some very easy ones here. if
Very
DMG's
far forward,
damage
he's
ever
just
plays
caught
in
out.
range.
Look at the
There we
CC chain.
go.
He can't be moved. It's such a good Joni ultimate, but it simply doesn't matter. For now, they're trying to burn through the carry. Simpy has been found up, but look, DMG health bars are low as well.
Oh my
It's certainly a
God.
fight that Venom Crest can win.
Oh
DMG
my
got everything they
God.
wanted, but Venom Crest are the ones claiming the prize. They've found 2 already, lost none.
Yep, the damage just isn't there, but the turn is always there for Venom Crest. They
Wow.
always have another form of crowd control moving up. The Nort R was down, Simpy getting another good engage. But that counter engage by Sedge, it looked like it could have done something with Skatebot. Looked like it could have done something. But my god, it just barely didn't. Skatebot just took down Nautilus. Simpy doesn't to decide, but that Infernal Drake, they're going to decide it's a good enough trade for it. 8-3 right now with Triple Drake, Soul Point, denied 6 scrubs, ahead on the map here. That mid tower gonna fall in an auto attack. Looks like Venom Crest gains the close. I can't remember who it is that bet on Venom Crest this game, because I'm very sure I checked and only one person had done so. So shout outs to that guy. Gonna be a very happy day for him.
Yeah, a bad day for my predictions, to be honest. It was a very even day in terms of, I think, how close I thought the games would be. So I decided to put 3 points in every game, saying they're all equally hard to predict. One thing though that I did not predict was Venom Crest just crushing DMG this heavily. I knew obviously Venom Crest are a good team. I like J-Real's FIFA Ultimate Team reference with the 84 rated 100 chemistry. Sadly though, FIFA is no longer FIFA, it's called EA Sports FC, and the chemistry system has changed, so you can have a maximum of 33 dumb decisions all around from that company, but it's nothing unusual for them, as maybe this is gonna sound rude, but maybe some dumb decisions have been made in the draft for DMG because this game feels just unplayable.
And we do see some potential of GMG though, right? It being a 5v5, oh, Venom Crest are like, buddy, please move up. Please move up. Oh, I honestly thought Simpy might just go on Bitzer there. Bitzer thinks he has an opening Namix.
And damage.
Not
wasn't
getting
there.
the ultimate out of Lucian there though, pretty big deal. Like, Namix probably should have just pressed R and gone all in, because in for a penny, in for a pound at this point. Fierce crashing off tier 2 top, Poppy crashing off tier 1 on bot. You kind of have to make a play here. So with the theory that Bitzer's running with, I somewhat agree. You have to fight. You can't get it in the 5v5, but maybe in the 3v3s, 2v2s you can.
We'll have to look for these different angles, you could say. With Bougie trying to defend this top lane turn, it's not going to plan really. As yeah, this shot will come through from the Herald. The turret gone as well. Won't get another charge though, so will be stopped here in the strikes by Pizza and Bucci. The research now coming through from Venom Crest. They have a Baron they can look forward to in 20 seconds. Maybe this is where DMG do that last stand, but I'm not sure how they will win this.
3v3, 2v2, I think that's the way to do so. Like, on its own, Lingard v Narmix, that would have been a good example. Could have had a running practical example on the screen, but on their own, Narmix versus Lingard, that can still go in Narmix's favor in the right circumstances. In the 2v2 and the 3v3, with any combination of these champions, I think you do have a situation where either Venom Crest have a lot of CC but very little damage, or a lot of damage but very little crowd control. Under both those circumstances, DMG suddenly do have a good lineup. But Venom Crest aren't giving that to them. They're going on 5. If they're not going on 5, they're playing very patiently because they know they have a map lead. And with that map lead, they're happy to shift into that 5-man on these big objectives like that Drake and probably like this Baron, and definitely with this incoming soul in 2 waves time, you are going to see that infernal soul on the map and both sides be like, DMG wants something before.
They want Lingard and they have to get something here. TPs are coming in though.
Oh my god.
Now the puppy has arrived, the damage has been turned back, and it is Bitzer forced to flash out Bucci in the front line still for a few more seconds. Steal Spheres, but they can't take anyone down. They don't have the damage, and Venom Crest yet again running amok. A double kill for Lingard. Yeah, this game is done.
Yep, DMG with a bits of pill to swallow there as Sejuani unable to find the full I'm doing your job for you, you're the one that should be coming with the puns again. Whereas they are able to find another strong fight, but that was the moment DMG knew for sure that in 2 waves time they're gonna be all in on that Drake. They at least seem to be burning summoners now, if nothing else. They can get a full catch, brilliant, but they weren't even able to get that. Lingard still with full summoners, Simpy still with full summoners, Fierce with his flash about to come up, Lenny with his flash about to come up. The only flash that they were able to burn was Maokai's. It's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Narmix, 0 flash whatsoever. Bitzer, 0 flash whatsoever. That's going to be a big deal because in 40 seconds it's the soul. Venom Crest have the Baron, they can set up for it. You want to be able to engage in it, but Narmix, no barrier, no flash, no nothing. Makes that fight very, very hard now. They wanted at least the sums trade. They weren't even able to get that. Maybe a kill. They can't get that. My god, DMG, they're fighting a brick wall.
Yeah, we can't get any kills. This is absolute insanity we're watching. Venom Crest are destroying DMG, who are that 1 game away from playoffs. This will heavily boost the chance of Venom Crest securing that spot in playoffs. Remember, top 4 is EMEA Masters, top 2 is a space in the upper bracket and an extra life in the playoffs as well. As Nemix desperately trying to do something called damage. I'm not sure he knows what it is though, as he's not doing much with this game.
I mean, Scale will try to trade on the map here, at least getting something, some kind of standing gold. That bounty helping you when you are behind on the map by trying to give you the gold to be able to fight your way back through, but it's great. It's just essentially going uncontested over to the side of Venom Crest right now. They're happy to trade that tier 1.
Oh! He stops him! He buys 5 more minutes of time before he goes down to Piers. Still though, that is actually pretty big.
That's big. That was absolutely a game over if they were able to get that soul for free, so hats off for Vitzer there. DMG now playing really full top side of the map. Bucci trying to make sure he doesn't at least give an engage angle. If he can catch someone, separate someone, Lingard is very low right now. If you can get him, it's probably a very free burst.
Yeah, Lingard, as you say, half HP, but free burst, I'm not too sure about it though, as the lack of damage from DMG is shocking. 23 minutes in, the goal lead is 10k, and it will only continue to grow as they push in with the final 40 seconds of this Baron buff.
Yep. Venom Crest moving in. DMG trying to split them apart. Trying to get their teamwork to do something here. We'll see though. Skaterrock trying to make the catch. Trying to find something. If they can find something would be great, but it's very difficult. And all the Venom Crest, they honestly have the option to just press B if they really want to. Yes, they didn't get that soul, but they'll get it next time, and they know they can win a 5v5 on either of those objectives. They were able to cheat. DMG were able to cheat their way out of a loss at 25. But the game is not over yet, and it's still very much in favor of Venom Quest. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. My predictions are doing pretty badly though. As Lingard 3 items, 3.5 on fear. So look at the items on DMG's carries. 2.5 spread there. It's not looking too good as yeah, I'm running out of ways to say that Venomcrest are dominating this game. At this point, we all know exactly what's happening, and it's been happening for the past 15 minutes. The Okax finds Pizza. Follow-up damage will of course be here, but it is Venomcrest that goes forward because they have all the damage that they could need. Pizza though able to go up for now, and DMG happy to have survived. Just a few ultimates, but every man is out safe.
Yep, DMG, they're working together, trying to find something here on that play.
Oh, that's a good hook actually, Snubby.
Oh.
Forced to flash and heal.
Yeah.
Bucci's looking for the flank. They're missing a lot of ultimates now, DMG, but it seems like they might want to go for something. They've found their target, it's Theocax. But instead, Bucci takes him away from the whole team. Into the waiting hands of Venomcrest they went, and it's Lingard who gets the kill. And now they will break open the bases. Pizza is next on the menu, double kill. Could this be even more for Lingard, who killer instincts forward? It's 3, it is 4. This could be the Panther, but Scumbag Lenny denies it. As Venomcrest will get their 7th win on the split and take a massive step closer to playoffs.
Yeah, I mean that was a ridiculously one-sided game. They had all the crowd control and they had all the damage that they needed so long as they kept moving. They just ran around as that unit. Otherwise, they played to make sure their opponents didn't get any advantage at any point where they were isolated. Played it beautifully, but what a threatening composition, and honestly, feels like what a misstep in draft from the side of DMG there. Not really leaving them very many options, and Venomcrest really showing how few options they had with their play. Shoutouts to all of the utility guys there. Lenny kind of bullying Butchie off towards the top side there. I think Theocax and Simpy, either of them could be my MVP choices there. Simpy was going really aggressive, really good with his timings, especially with that R coming up of cooldown. And really, the talk of the day is all that crowd control they had, that uncounterable element that they had. You could take Cleanse if you wanted, you could take Millie if you wanted. Not going to do anything versus a composition like that.
Yeah, this was a dominating victory, and to think that these were two top teams going head-to-head, crushing blow here for DMG, who could have locked their playoff spot today, but elation for Venomcrest as they take one massive step closer to getting that playoff spot. But for now, we'll turn to a small break. When we come back, the analysts will round out this game and get us ready for final one of the day. See you after the break.
Break it down, step on the gas, let's get out of town. We're gonna break out and have some fun. We're gonna do what you never done. Oh yeah, yeah. Come on, take your body with you. It's a money weekend. Everything we wanna, we go do. We go do. It's leisure, we go do.
Shoulders, we're showing stories told. Watch the fire burn away the cold. I am rising from the dust. Despite how much we lost, you will not take away my strength. You will not take away my strength.